And welcome back to Music Free Static. I hope you're having a fabulous day. And, it's Thanksgiving this week in the United States. And Thanksgiving is one of those holidays that tends to get overlooked, which is, I think, really unfortunate. And what's even worse is that a lot of people will focus on the meal, right? I have one coworker who often likes to refer to it just as Turkey Day. But I think it's important that we focus on gratitude. Okay. Now, gratitude and Thanksgiving, all this is important in our lives. And so let me set a definition here for you. This definition was given by Robert D. Hales in 1992. Okay. So this isn't coming out of Webster's dictionary or something like that. But I think it's a good way of looking at gratitude. He says, gratitude is a state of appreciation, an act of thanksgiving, which causes us to be humble because we recognize an act of kindness, service, or caring from someone else, which lifts us and strengthens us. Okay? It's an act of humility. It's an act of recognition. It's an act that says, hey, somebody did something cool for us, and let's actually appreciate it. And notice he says it's a state of appreciation. It's not even just a one-time thing. Oh, thanks. Yeah, which is a start. But when you're it's a state of mind. It's when you're going beyond just saying words, but to actually having a shift in your mindset. Of course, ingratitude is the opposite of that. Hales goes on to describe ingratitude as the attitude of being unaware or not recognizing when somebody has assisted us or helped us, or even worse, when we know we have been helped and have not given thanks privately or publicly, right? The idea that, hey, somebody helped you and you just completely ignored them, okay? And it sucks. It sucks to be somebody who has reached out to help and then have the person you have helped just completely blow you off, right? And I think it's important. I say that a lot. It's important, apparently, because that's the train I'm riding today. But I believe humility is one of the most important traits we can cultivate in ourselves. And gratitude is a huge part of that, okay? Now, I'll tell you, it's hard sometimes to be grateful, to develop that attitude of gratitude, right? That state of appreciation. When times are hard, I get it. I've been there, right? And we all are going through different things in life, but even when times are hard, it's important to still cultivate gratitude in our lives. So Dieter F. Uchtdorf talked about in 2014, he says, everyone's situation is different, and the details of each life are unique. Nevertheless, I have learned that there is something that would take away the bitterness that may come into our lives. There's one thing we can do to make life sweeter, more joyful, even glorious. We can be grateful, right? It's the idea that it doesn't matter what you're going through, okay? It doesn't matter how hard your life is, how hard the times are. The idea is that you can be grateful for what you have. That is essential, right? That is one of those things where we can say, you know what? Yeah, times are tough, but I'm grateful that I'm healthy. I'm grateful that I have friends. I'm grateful for any number of things, right? And these are the things that really make life better, right? Now, it's easy sometimes to focus on the trivialities of life, right? Oh, you should be thankful. Okay, well, I'm grateful for my car, and I'm grateful for my toaster oven, and I'm grateful for my computer, right? It's easy to start leaning on those things. But things are not what's important in life. Okay? As Thomas S. Monson said in 2010, no material possessions make us happy and grateful. Actually, I misquoted that. He says, do material possessions make us happy and grateful? And I would say no, but he goes on and says, yeah, perhaps momentarily, right? We'd get excited. Oh, yes, I just got a new computer. Woo! Yay, got a new phone. Yay, whatever, right? He says, but continue on with Monson here. He says, however, those things which provide deep and lasting happiness and gratitude are the things which money cannot buy. Our families, the gospel, good friends, our health, our abilities, the love we receive from those around us. Unfortunately, these are some of the things we allow ourselves to take for granted, right? And, oh, believe me, I fall into this on occasion. I don't know anyone who doesn't fall into this on occasion, right? Where we've got our spouse. We've been, I've been married for, 20 something years, right? 28 years, right? For going back doing the math. And it's easy to just sometimes fall into the trap of taking my wife for granted, that she's always there and will always be there, and I don't have to worry about it. And true as that may be, I can't completely ignore her, right? I can't go through my life not expressing gratitude to her for what she does. And she has done a lot for me. Okay? And so, yeah, that's one of those things. It's easy to take our friends and our families and our health off, right? Take those things for granted. And focus on the things that don't make any difference, right? Now, yes, I am grateful that I have cars that run well. Because, we've had to go drive back and forth to Denver to work on my dad's house, okay? That's great. It killed me when my minivan died, because that was a lot of money that I didn't want to have to spend to replace that car. But I'm grateful that I have a car that I can drive up there to get the work done that we've needed to do. Okay. I'm grateful that we've had a reliable car that my daughter has been able to take to college. Right. I'm grateful for these things. I'm grateful we've had a reliable car to take my other daughter to college. Right. Yes, I am grateful that I have cars that work well. But more important, I'm grateful that I have a family that is mostly doing okay, right? All of my kids have their individual problems. My wife and I have our problems, both individually and together. But I'm grateful that we can, that we've got them. I'm grateful that they are the good people they are. My kids are all great people, okay? And I'm grateful for that, right? But it's easy to let your thoughts of gratitude get driven under by the noise of what's going on Earth, right? Right. We just went through a very contentious election in the United States, which has been part of a very contentious political scene going back 20, 30 years. Right? That's just been getting steadily worse and worse and worse. Right? Stirred up sometimes by the politicians themselves, sometimes stirred up by the media, sometimes and often stirred up by people on creator media, right? A lot of people on, Twitter was a hellscape, right? There's a reason I stopped using Twitter. And it's not necessarily because of Elon Musk or anything like that. I stopped using Twitter for my personal stuff long before Musk bought the thing, and I stopped pushing my my stream announcements and content stuff to Twitter. Shoot, just after Musk took over, he was dictating a lot of things by vibes and fiat and whatever, and it was just not a safe place for a while because he was throwing things. Oh, you're not allowed to link to stuff off Twitter. That lasted about a week, but it said, you know what, I don't need to be here, so I left. And I didn't really take my channels anywhere else, right? Okay, yes, I do post. I had been posting things to Instagram. I was still doing that. I still kind of do. I've stopped a little bit just because the Instagram upload process for my reels and stuff just sucks. But, you know, I still throw things to TikTok, and I, of course, throw a bunch of stuff on YouTube and all that stuff. But no, I'm kind of done because it was just it was just a mess, right? Blue Sky wasn't any better. Blue Sky was actually worse. I was there for about 30 minutes and realized, yeah, no, all of the hate and vitriol I hated on Twitter just migrated to Blue Sky. Okay, if you're not part of the in crowd over there, if you're not following the orthodoxy, yeah, you might as well just give it up. So yeah, nope, I'm done with that. But, and it's a big but, right? It's not as bad as people would want you to believe. Okay? Right? There are still things that are worth celebrating and worth being grateful for. You'd be grateful for too, but that kind of falls flat. So, okay, anyway. Sorry. You don't have to be grateful for that joke. It's okay. Don't worry about it. But to continue again from this talk by Thomas S. Monson, he says, this is a wonderful time to be on Earth. While there is much that is wrong with the world today, there are many things that are right and good. There are marriages that make it, parents who love their children and sacrifice for them, friends who care about us and help us, teachers who teach. Our lives are blessed in countless ways. And think about that for a minute, okay? Think about all of those things. That's like, yeah, there are things to be grateful for. Sure, there are some things that are a mess. I'm not going to deny it. There's things that are really insane. And there are a lot of things that are not as bad as others would make us believe, because it's in their best interest for us to believe things are worse than they are. But as bad as all of that is, look at all of those things that are awesome and amazing in our lives, right? And count, I said, there's a hymn that we sing at church every once in a while. It's count your many blessings, right? And yes, that is awesome. There are a lot of them. And if we focus on those things that actually make life great and glorious, sweeter and joyful, right? As Uchtdorf put it earlier, right? These are the things that we can be focusing on, right? Continuing on with Thomas S. Monson here. Again, this is from October 2010. He says, we can lift ourselves and others as well when we refuse to remain in the realm of negative thought and cultivate within our hearts an attitude of gratitude. If ingratitude be numbered among the serious sins, then gratitude takes its place among the noblest of virtues. Someone has said that gratitude is not only the greatest of virtues, but the parent of all others. Okay, think about what that means, right? What ends up happening when we sit and wallow in that negativity, right? When we wallow in ingratitude, right? It divides us. It drives us apart as a society. And that's not good. That's not good for anybody. You know, it doesn't matter where you fall politically or religiously or whatever. It's not great to be for a society to be driven apart, right? We want to live in a society where, hey, we can trust our neighbors, right? We can have friends that we can hang out with or talk to, or that we all could call for help, or just to hang out and watch a movie or something, right? Play games. And you know, now, as a card carrying introvert, right? Yeah, I'm not always the greatest with people. On the other hand, right, I do like to talk to people once in a while. I do like a get together on occasion. Not as often as some of my more extroverted friends, but you know, I do like that they're there. I like that, hey, yes, there are people that I could call on when I need help or just need somebody to talk to. Right? That is awesome. And I'll tell you, when I was going through those darkest days of my depression and grief, it was hard, right? It was hard sometimes to focus on anything else. And yes, I was grateful for my wife, and I was grateful for having a steady job and all that stuff. But that didn't make the darkness any brighter, right? It that took a years in therapy and stuff to work through that. But it's one of those things that is ongoing. When I write in my journal every day, I have a section that's for things I am grateful for, right? Things that I am feeling grateful for that day, right? And I make myself fill it out. Now I have three bullet points in my template. I usually only end up doing one, okay? But still, the focus on what am I grateful for, okay? Because it's easy. I've had entries in my journal where I'm looking at the low light section of my journal, and it's like, wow, this was a hard day, and I don't really have anything in the highlights section of my journal. But I can be grateful that I'm generally healthy, right? Yes, I'm overweight and I have a little bit of a cholesterol issue, but it's a little bit of a cholesterol issue and something I'm working on trying to fix, okay? But, my cholesterol isn't high. I'm just, my HDLs and LDLs are out of balance, right? I've got more of the bad stuff than I have of the good stuff, and that needs to get sorted out. But otherwise, I'm generally healthy, okay? I can be grateful for that, right? I could whine about the fact I have to wear reading glasses. This annoys the heck out of me because my vision at distance is 20/20 or better, okay? I have amazing distance vision. I can't read a book, right? It's once I get, within a couple of feet, typical reading distance, yeah, things go blurry. This sucks. I hate it. It drives me nuts. But I'm grateful I can still see. Right? I'm grateful that all I need are a pair of $5 reading glasses from Walmart. Right? It's not like I have to spend hundreds and hundreds of dollars on a prescription, and that I am, whatever, all of the other negative stuff that goes with it, right? I can be grateful for that. And I know I don't think about that as often as I should. I don't remember that as often as I should. And that's why, going back to Robert D. Hales, when he talks about gratitude is a state of appreciation. Okay. Again, it's an ongoing thing. As Thomas S. Monson put it, it's an attitude, right? An attitude of gratitude. It aside from being the annoying rhyme, right? It's a part of who you are, right? Yes, saying thank you when somebody brings you something is great. Actually being thankful when somebody brings you something or when somebody helps you, That's even better. Okay. Those are the things that I know I'm trying to work on. And I think as a society, we would all be better off. Society would be better off if we actually worked and built up that that attitude, right? If we grew gratitude in our lives, if we were more grateful for those things we have and the yeah, I said the things, but the people, the the experience, right? The jobs that people do that help us, right? Right. We've got people who are willing to teach. That's a hard gig, man. You know, I did that for a year, and I was only teaching one class each semester. That's a hard gig, man. those, those people who choose to teach are making a pretty tremendous sacrifice, and it can be a blessing in a lot of people's lives. Oh yeah, there are bad teachers. Don't get me wrong. I am not going to be the first one to stand up and say every teacher in the world is the greatest teacher ever. That's not true. But those people who choose to make those sacrifices, who actually care about those students, yet those people are amazing. And I had some great teachers, especially in high school and in college. And they helped shape who I was, and they helped guide me down a path that I'm grateful I went down. Right? These are the things we should be looking at, right? Everyone likes to pull out the stat, on occasion that, yeah, half of marriages end in divorce. Okay, and that stat kind of sucks. But on the other hand, half of marriages don't, right? And we should be grateful that, hey, yeah, I'm one of those that made it, right? My dad was divorced twice, right? It sucks, man. And that first divorce, when he left my mom, was hard on both parties, and I ended up growing up dealing with the bitterness and the hatred that came from both sides. Though my mom expressed it a lot more than my dad did, and that sucks. But I'm grateful I had parents that loved me. Right? No, they didn't love each other anymore, but they loved me, right? That was why it was such a blow when my dad died, because he was my biggest fan. He was my biggest supporter for as long as I could remember, right? And that's something I am grateful for. And I don't know that I expressed it to him often or well, or at all, to be honest, because it's hard for me sometimes to share my feelings, and especially was before he died. So that's an opportunity that I'll not have in this life, right? To tell him how grateful I was for what he did. Right? So yeah, these are the types of things that we can focus on, we can be grateful for, right? Not necessarily that we have, a PS5, we finally got one or something, right? Which I don't have, and honestly, I don't want. No, if I had one and had some of the games, I would play some of them. But it's a thing. Right now, I don't need it. Why? Because I am grateful for what I've got. I've got honestly, I've got a computer that runs Minecraft, and I love that because I love Minecraft, right? I have a great community around music-free gaming, right? And the music-free gaming community is great. It's not large by any means, but it's a great community, and I am grateful for it. I run credits at the end of my streams of my supporters at musicfreegaming.com, and Yeah, there are only two names on it, but that doesn't make me any less grateful for them because there's only two. Right? I am so so grateful for those who are part of that community. I'm grateful for those at church who have been willing to step up and help not just me but all of the people around us, all the people in my word community. I am so grateful for those people who are willing to stand up and help, right? And I'll tell you, I've had some great bishops in my wards, and they have been uh, often of try to put this right, a great example of somebody who truly cares about the people they're serving, right? And that's amazing, right? I love that, and I don't think I've expressed that appreciation often enough, right? And that's one of those things that I am trying to improve on, and I hope everybody works on that. As said, as we come up on Thanksgiving and say, oh, let's get Thanksgiving over so we can go buy the things and put up the Christmas lights. Okay. And yes, we put up our Christmas decorations almost as soon as we've recovered and cleaned up from Thanksgiving dinner. Okay. Because my wife loves Christmas. But I do too, but she goes all in for it. But let's not skip over what's let's not skip over a holiday that celebrates one of the greatest things that we can do. And it doesn't matter your religion or lack thereof. It doesn't matter your politics or lack thereof. We can be grateful for again, grateful for marriages that make it, grateful for parents that love their children, grateful for friends, grateful for teachers, grateful for everything, everyone. And with that, I know it sounds corny right now, but thank you for hanging out, listening, watching this podcast. I do appreciate all of you too. And until next time, be excellent to each other. This is Music Free Static, signing off.